never should have joked about it. Not like that. Not in front of him. It started off so casually, just a light-hearted comment over dinner. Something I thought showed how confident and secure our marriage was. But the instant the words slipped from my mouth, I saw it happen. A shift. The warmth in Daniel's eyes dimmed. The edges of his smile faltered. And just like that, one careless joke cracked open something deep and fragile between us. Something I wasn't ready to face. "Relax, Daniel," I said with a laugh, reaching for another piece of garlic bread. "You're not actually jealous of Ethan, are you? He's basically my brother." But Daniel didn't laugh. He just stared down at his plate, absently pushing a piece of chicken around with his fork. "I never said I was jealous," he murmured. "I just don't understand why he comes up so much lately. Every story, every plan, every weekend. Somehow Ethan's always part of it." I rolled my eyes, trying to brush it off. "Oh, come on. He's my best friend. You knew that long before we got married." Daniel nodded slowly but didn't look at me. "Yeah, I knew. But it used to feel different." That one word, different, hung between us like a quiet accusation. I didn't have an answer for it. That night, when Daniel finally fell asleep, I lay awake staring at the ceiling, his words echoing in my mind. Eventually, I reached for my phone, scrolling through my messages until I landed on the last one from Ethan. "You look beautiful today. Wish we could have stayed longer." I hadn't replied. Not because I didn't want to, but because I didn't know how to. Ethan had been part of my life for a decade. We met in college, became inseparable. He was there through everything. My new job, my mother's illness, even the day Daniel proposed. He'd always been my constant. But lately things had begun to shift. The way he spoke to me, the compliments that lingered too long, the way his tone softened when he said my name. He never crossed a line outright, but he danced close enough to it that my heart began to stumble. And God help me, I didn't stop him, because in some small, shameful way I liked feeling desired. The next morning, Daniel was unusually quiet. He brewed his coffee, flipped through the newspaper, and didn't say much. The silence was unbearable. "Hey," I said softly, reaching out to touch his arm. "Are you still upset about last night?" He looked up, eyes tired. "No. Just thinking." "About what?" He hesitated. "About whether you'd still laugh like that if you knew how much it hurts." My stomach nodded. "Daniel, it was a joke. Ethan and I. Don't." His voice was sharp enough to make me stop. "Don't tell me you're just friends. I've seen the way he looks at you." I felt my chest tighten. "You're imagining things." He set his mug down and finally met my eyes. "Am I?" 2 nights later, Daniel said he'd be working late. I didn't think twice about it. His job often kept him at the office past 9. So when Ethan texted dinner tonight, I agreed. We met at a small Italian restaurant downtown. The kind with low lighting and soft jazz playing in the background. The kind that made everything feel a little too intimate for just friends. Ethan stood to greet me, smiling in that familiar way. "You look incredible," he said. I laughed lightly. "You always say that." "Because it's always true," he replied. His tone soft but loaded with something heavier. We ordered pasta and wine, slipping easily into old habits. Shared jokes, easy laughter, long looks across the table. But every now and then, his hand brushed against mine and lingered a second too long. Halfway through dinner, he leaned closer. "You know, if I didn't know better, I'd say your husband doesn't deserve you." "Ethan," I warned quietly. "I'm serious," he said, voice low. "You light up when you're with me. I don't see that when you talk about him anymore." Before I could respond, a voice came from behind me. "Maybe that's because she doesn't talk about me when she's with you." My body froze. I turned slowly, and there was Daniel standing in the doorway of the restaurant. His face was unreadable, his eyes dark and steady. My heart dropped. He took a step forward, looking between us. Ethan's smirk vanished instantly. "Daniel, this isn't." "Save it, Claire," he said quietly. The room seemed to go silent. The clinking of glasses, the background chatter. It all faded until I could hear only the sound of my own heartbeat. "I thought I was being paranoid," Daniel said, voice calm but trembling around the edges. "I thought maybe I was just overreacting. But you told me not to worry. You laughed when I said I didn't like how close you two were. And here you are." Tears burned my eyes. It's not what it looks like. He gave a bitter laugh. That line never gets old. Daniel, please. We were just talking. Then why do you look guilty? He snapped, his voice breaking. Why does it feel like I've already lost you? I reached for him, but he stepped back. His next words were soft, but they cut deep. You know what hurts the most? It's not this dinner. It's that I felt it happening weeks ago, and you made me feel insane for noticing. Then he turned and walked away. Daniel, please. I called out, my voice cracking. I didn't do anything wrong. He paused at the door but didn't look back. That's the thing, Claire, he said. You didn't have to. Sometimes betrayal isn't about what you do. It's about what you let happen. And then he was gone. That night, the house was unbearably quiet. I sat in the dim living room, staring at the wine glass still half full on the table, Daniel's words echoing again and again. It's about what you let happen. Ethan texted me. Then he called. Then he showed up at my door. He's overreacting, he said quickly. I didn't mean for it to go like that. I looked at him, really looked at him, and for the first time I saw him clearly. The smugness, the subtle entitlement, the way he'd always pushed just far enough to make me complicit. He's not overreacting, I said quietly. You knew exactly what you were doing. And I let you. His face fell. Claire, come on. Leave, I whispered. Please. When he finally walked away, I sat alone until sunrise, surrounded by the wreckage of my own silence. Weeks turned into months. Daniel never came home. He stayed at a hotel near his office, saying he needed time. I tried calling, texting, even driving to see him, but he wouldn't answer. One night, he finally replied with a single message. You didn't cheat, Claire. But you stopped choosing me long before that dinner. And I can't keep loving someone who already belongs halfway to someone else. That message broke me in a way no argument ever could. It's been 3 months now. I still wear my wedding ring, though the tan line underneath has faded. I still think about that night, that joke, that laugh. The way Daniel looked at me when he realized what I refused to admit. Sometimes betrayal doesn't happen in a single moment. It creeps in slowly, through lingering glances, unanswered texts, and the quiet shift of affection from one heart to another. And every time I scroll through old photos of us, smiling, happy, untouched by doubt, I hear his voice again. It's not about what you did. It's about what you let happen.